Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're not just delving into a story, we're really strapping in for a high-octane kind of immersion. It's a world where loyalty just shatters, alliances form in the most, well, unlikely places, and the fate of democracy is, hanging by a thread. Forget your typical case files or historical analyses. Our source material for this deep dive is something different. It's a singular, raw, and utterly gripping collection of personal entries titled Paula Becker Journal Part 2.txt.
Yeah.
And this isn't some distant report, right? It's a living narrative. It pulls us directly into the psyche of an unnamed agent we only know as Paula. We're going to walk in her shoes, basically, as she navigates this incredibly intricate web of espionage, profound betrayal, and political intrigue, so deep it threatens to unravel the very fabric of her nation. So our mission today is to meticulously extract the key insights, the really shocking revelations, and to map out Paula's extraordinary transformation. She starts as this dedicated government operative, believing in the system, only to rapidly become this unexpected protagonist, forced to fight for the very soul of democracy from within the shadows of its own supposed protectors. It is a truly wild, unprecedented journey, and we are going to try and distill every critical moment for you.
What's truly compelling here, I think, is precisely that profound evolution of perspective. This isn't just a third-person account. It's intimate. It's firsthand. It lays bare how one individual's entire understanding of their world, their government, their mission, their sense of right and wrong can be just utterly shattered.
Right.
And then, against all odds, somehow painstakingly rebuilt. In the face of overwhelming, undeniable evidence of, well, corruption and malice at the highest levels, we're not merely tracking the sequence of events here. We're looking for those profound nuggets of knowledge, the things that illuminate human resilience under unimaginable pressure, the dramatic, often agonizing shifting of loyalties when you're confronted with these uncomfortable truths, and the immense, sometimes terrifying, power of individual action when the system becomes rotten from within. This is far more than just a spy thriller. It's a deeply personal odyssey of awakening.
Let's plunge right into Paula's world, then. As these journal entries reveal, it begins with this creeping, deeply unsettling feeling. She thinks she's being followed. The scene is a quiet country road just outside D.C., late at night. She's on her way to what should be a straightforward, if maybe somewhat bizarre, side mission, investigating some chatter about a Christian cult, supposedly a rest night from her demanding acting cover. But as she drives, that familiar, almost instinctual sense of unease starts to prickle. Then she spots them. Headlights. Distinctly identical to ones she saw leaving her hotel earlier. It's that instant, chilling, internal recognition. Okay, I'm being followed.
And she's not passive, right? She's an agent.
Exactly. Paula is anything but passive. She immediately registers she's on this deserted country road, nowhere to do a clean turnaround or escape a tail easily. So instead of trying to lose them, she decides to engage, to confirm her suspicion. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, her mind races. She's consulting her mental map, then her GPS, looking for a good spot. A public building closed late at night. That would be perfect. A town hall a few miles away, on another, less traveled road. Seems like the place.
Right.
Her internal monologue is sharp, decisive. If they turn when I turn, I'll be 100% sure. Right now, I'm only 95% sure. And sure enough, as she signals, the headlights behind her just mirror her move. Okay, confirmation. She then speeds into the town hall's darkened parking lot, kills her lights, pulls out the dome light bulb, a tiny, crucial detail, right, to keep the interior dark when she opens the door, and eases silently out of the car. This is pure, honed agent instinct, every action deliberate, risk assessed.
It really shows her training, doesn't it? That immediate tactical thinking.
Totally. The air itself seems to hum with tension. A taxi pulls up on the street, kills its lights too, and just sits there, like a silent, dark sentinel. Paula, a phantom in the deep shadows, expertly staying out of the few pockets of light, approaches from behind, senses on high alert, and then the reveal. The back door of the taxi opens, and out steps McCracken. Now, this isn't a new character for Paula. The journal indicates she's definitely encountered him before, though this specific entry doesn't go into the prior interactions.
Okay.
Her immediate internal debate is fierce. Confront him? No. Here. She even slips her PUP, her personal utility weapon, this compact tool, back into its sheath. She decides to wait him out, understand his play before showing her hand.
So she's observing him, trying to figure out what he's doing.
Exactly. And what unfolds next is just bizarre, almost absurd. A standoff. McCracken, apparently oblivious to Paula hiding nearby, simply waits by her car for a full hour.
An hour. Just standing there.
An hour. The taxi driver starts getting agitated, yelling at McCracken to get back to the city. McCracken just shoves some money at him, dismissively, but stays put. standing sentinel by Paula's car. The tension becomes almost unbearable for Paula, hiding, watching this strange scene. Finally, the driver gets out again, shouting threats, totally fed up, and Paula sees her chance, this tiny window. She executes this daring, silent dash in the dark for her car, dives in, lights still off, hits the gas, and speeds away into the night. The taxi, caught off guard, finally pulls away, but by the time it can turn around, Paula hits the crossroads, hangs a sharp right, lights still off, doing maybe 75.
Wow.
No sign of McCracken or the taxi. They must have assumed she was heading straight back to her hotel, letting her just vanish into the darkness.
Incredible escape.
And just to underscore the surreal duality of her life, this high-stakes personal drama next to the mundane absurdity of her cover, she still goes to investigate her original side mission, that Christian cult.
Seriously, after all that.
Yep. Finds the church door unlocked, spends half an hour looking around discreetly, and her surprising brief finding, the cult's core tenets, summed up in her journal. God hates homosexuals, abortionists, and faithful that don't pay their tithe. Just another night in Paula's wild, contradictory world.
Wow. Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, the psychological landscape Paula's in,
Yeah.
what's truly insightful here is the deep ambiguity of McCracken's behavior.
Right.
From Paula's perspective, she's grappling with layers of intense suspicion. Is he a direct threat? Is he agency? Maybe a rogue agent sent to track her, test her loyalty, expose her? Or is it something else entirely? Something personal, complex, that just defies her training categories? This initial unnerving encounter, him stalking her in the dark, it sets this profoundly unsettling tone for their future interactions. It blurs the lines between predator and, well, potential protector.
And that ambiguity just deepens when she eventually confronts him.
Right. Exactly. His excuse for following her is almost comically bizarre, bordering on, like you said, creepy but sweet. He claims he's been worried about her unexplained absences, her distraction, her seemingly unraveling state.
He even offers money.
Yeah, if you need money, I have money, just tell me how much. But then there's that truly odd justification for that night. Well, she looked just like you, same hair, same body.
Which is just... what?
It's a line that borders on the ridiculous. It makes Paula question everything, his sanity, his sincerity, maybe a deeper manipulative agenda. It's a kind of clumsy lie that paradoxically might hint at a strange truth, or maybe just a genuine lack of sophisticated deception skills. Who knows?
But despite all these massive red flags, we see this pivotal, almost unbelievable shift in their dynamic later. They meet again, supposedly by accident, in Rock Creek Park.
Okay.
She spots him following her again, even when she just wanted a solitary walk to clear her head. She tries to bore him into leaving by just sketching, but he approaches and proposes something extraordinary.
A truce.
A truce. After stalking her. Yeah.
This is where the narrative pivots dramatically. McCracken makes a concrete promise. He won't follow her without her knowledge again. In return, Paula makes a promise that fundamentally alters their relationship. She will not disappear without explanation, and crucially, she will ask him for help if she needs it.
Wow. That's huge.
It's massive.
This agreement, forged under such highly unusual, almost coercive circumstances, marks this significant departure from pure suspicion to, well, a nascent, albeit incredibly strange, alliance.
Right.
It's a testament to the profound internal conflict Paula must be feeling, the desperation. A highly trained agent, career built on skepticism, self-reliance, agrees to trust someone who just stalked her. It raises a critical question for us, what does it truly take for someone like Paula, whose life literally depends on discerning threats, to make such a calculated risk, to extend even a sliver of trust to someone as ambiguous as McCracken?
Maybe she sensed something, or just felt she had no other choice. Maybe both. It suggests maybe a deep intuition on her part, perhaps sensing something beyond the surface creepiness, or maybe just a pragmatic acknowledgement that in a world where her own agency might be compromised, an unpredictable ally might be her only hope. It's a gamble that, as we'll see, fundamentally redefines the entire course of her journey.
That's a truly profound observation. It's not just a leap of faith, it's a strategic gamble born from utter necessity, and it quickly sets the stage for the turning point of this entire deep dive. A bombshell revelation out in Portland.
Okay, Portland.
Paul's next assignment, still operating under her agency cover, is to meet X, supposedly an insider from a terrorist cell there, for critical intelligence. The agreed-upon meeting location is Peninsula Park, this picturesque public space, specifically the fountain nestled within its famed rose garden. Now, this detail is crucial because, as X explains later, this spot was chosen precisely because its open yet visually complex environment would make surveillance and recording almost impossible.
So the location itself is tactical.
Highly tactical. It immediately tells you the astronomical stakes of this meeting and the level of paranoia and precision X operates with. But the identity of X is the first truly jarring surprise. Paula, trained to expect maybe a hardened operative or a zealous fanatic, instead meets a young girl, 18 or 19 years old, frightened.
Wow, okay. Not what she expected at all.
Not even close. It immediately shatters all of Paula's preconceived notions of a terrorist insider. The girl's youth and palpable fear create this immediate dissonance with the mission brief. And it's here, in this unexpected exchange with a terrified teenager, that the narrative takes a radical, terrifying turn. Because this young girl reveals a complete, devastating redefinition of the terror plot. It's not an attack on the country's 250th anniversary, like Paula's agency believes. Instead, that's just a decoy, a distraction for something far, far grander and more sinister, a gigantic coast-to-coast protest.
A protest, not a terror attack.
That's what X says. But then X, her voice barely a whisper, reveals the alleged conspiracy's true, chilling nature. This isn't about an external threat, it's about an internal coup. She tells Paula, with terrifying clarity, that the current president, Trump, intends to be the last president. His meticulously crafted plan, according to X's deeply placed sources, is to declare martial law when his term expires.
Martial law. On what grounds?
The fabricated pretext. A fictional war with immigrant invaders united with drug cartels, with the Democratic Party being conveniently framed as complicit in this, existential threat.
Oh my God.
The alleged plan outlines rounding up Democratic leaders, holding what X chillingly calls kangaroo courts, outlawing the Democratic Party entirely, and then, perhaps most horrifyingly, executing leading members. X explicitly states this is part of why Trump reinstated the federal death penalty.
Executing political opponents.
It's a truly terrifying vision of the deliberate, systematic dismantling of American democracy from within.
This revelation, it presents an immediate, profound challenge. It raises a critical question for all of us. How does an individual, particularly an agent whose life is predicated on loyalty and service to their government, even begin to process such a massive, paradigm-shifting piece of information?
Especially from a source like that,
right.
A scared kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes from such an unexpected and seemingly vulnerable source. Paula, an agent who has dedicated her career to protecting her country, is suddenly confronted with the terrifying possibility that the very system she serves isn't just flawed, but rotten to its core, actively plotting to subvert the very principles she swore to defend. It's a cognitive earthquake.
Yeah.
X then elaborates on the chilling, granular details of this alleged plan. She talks about swift, decisive control of key Democratic cities, with all existing law enforcement firmly brought under federal control. The intention, she explains, is to declare martial law city by city, expanding systematically across the nation. An insidious creep towards total authoritarianism. This isn't just politics. It's a blueprint for a complete overhaul of the American system as we know it. A descent into a new form of tyranny.
It's terrifying.
But the revelations don't stop there. X, in this desperate act of, self-preservation and maybe a last-ditch effort to save the country, gives Paula crucial, life-saving intelligence. She warns Paula that her agency-issued phone is thoroughly compromised.
Oh, no.
They can hear her conversations, track her every move. X herself is operating with a cell jammer, which is why their conversation at the fountain is secure, off the grid for now. X's instructions for Paula are stark and clear. She must immediately ditch her compromised phone, meticulously review the evidence that X is about to give her, and then critically deliver it to an international media outlet like the BBC.
Why the BBC?
Because domestic media, X says, is riddled with undercover agents. This paints a picture of pervasive infiltration where even the supposed guardians of truth might be co-opted.
That's chilling.
And then X delivers a very personal, chilling warning to Paula. You now have a target on your back, specifically because X insisted on dealing only with Paula. That makes her a unique, exposed link in this chain.
Oh, man.
To survive and gather the evidence, Paula must convince her bosses that she is still unequivocally loyal, that X was just some worthless conspiracy nut. This immediately thrusts Paula into this impossible, morally corrosive bind. She has to outwardly betray the very truth she just learned in order to save herself and potentially the nation.
So she has to lie to her own bosses.
Completely. And the ingenious and heartbreaking staged push into the fountain is the culmination of X's desperate plan. X explains the tactic. When they get back to the walkway, Paula stops, faces X, loudly yells that X is crazy and Paula's taking her in. Then X will physically push Paula into the fountain.
Giving her the chance to ditch the phone.
Exactly. It gives Paula the opportunity to discreetly ditch her compromised phone into the water while providing plausible cover for her bosses.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant tactical move, but it also forces Paula into this immediate, profound moral dilemma. In seconds, under extreme duress, she must choose. Comply with this desperate girl's plan, which implicates her in exposing a massive conspiracy, or dismiss it and potentially let this horrifying plot unfold. It's a choice made in an instant that irrevocably changes her path.
And what a choice it turns out to be. A decision born of instinct and desperation that leads to immediate, brutal tragedy. Just as X executes her part, pushing Paula into the fountain, creating the diversion, the world just explodes. Paula hears two distinct gunshots.
Oh, no.
Two men in dark suits materialize from the periphery, cold and efficient. They assassinate X in a blink. The young girl, barely out of her teens, who just entrusted Paula with the fate of democracy, is brutally executed right before her eyes. Her desperate mission ends right there.
God, that's horrific.
Paula's immediate response is a masterclass in controlled chaos, driven by this surge of cold fury so intense it feels like ice in her veins. She forces herself, through sheer willpower, to act like she's still scrambling to catch X, even though she knows the horrifying truth. She retrieves her agency phone from the cold, murky fountain water, every movement deliberate, part of a calculated performance. Her internal conflict, this maelstrom of shock and dawning horror, must be agonizing. The initial agency-trained thought, did I just let a terrorist go, immediately shifts, replaced by the crushing realization that she just witnessed an execution.
Not by terrorists.
No, by what appear to be government agents, the very people she works for, the system she swore to uphold.
Unbelievable.
To survive, to continue her mission now, Paula immediately fabricates an elaborate cover story for her bosses, weaving it with precision born of necessity and shock. She'll report X was just a worthless conspiracy nut who got spooked, broke free, and then conveniently was killed by her own terrorist organization.
Wow. The lie she has to tell.
This lie, spun in the crucible of witnessing a murder, seals her new treacherous path. Her motivation here is incredibly powerful, deeply personal. She explicitly connects this cold fury to the senseless death of my father and 2,976 others, a chilling reference to 9/11.
Okay. That explains a lot.
Right. This profound detail reveals her underlying drive, her entire life, her career dedicated to preventing such tragedies. And now she sees the horrifying potential for a far greater systemic one, orchestrated from within her own government. It's this deep, searing, personal connection to injustice that allows her to think with such terrifying clarity and tactical precision in a moment of utter devastation.
What's truly fascinating here, analyzing Paula's immediate response, is how incredibly quickly she shifts from being an agent for the system to an agent against it. This isn't some slow burn of disillusionment, a gradual erosion of trust.
No, it's instant.
It's immediate, visceral, a redirection of her entire being, triggered by a single, shocking, deeply personal event. Her world, her foundational beliefs, shattered in an instant. Her loyalty is fundamentally, irrevocably redirected. She transitions from an instrument of the state to a rogue force, all in the span of a few heartbeats.
And the agency's response in Portland just confirms everything, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. Their aggressive, disproportionate response immediately confirms Paula's new, horrifying reality. They don't send investigators, they send in this overwhelming show of force. Military recruits, SWAT, snipers, the assassins are already here.
Good grief.
Their mission, as Paula observes, isn't to investigate but to take into custody the rest of X's supposed terrorist cell. This is not a nuanced operation, it's a systematic sweep. It solidifies Paula's understanding that the threat is indeed from within, and the narrative being fed to the public is a carefully constructed lie.
So Paula has to get out. Fast.
Exactly. And her cunning countermove, immediately fabricating this new elaborate narrative, demonstrates her rapid adaptation and strategic brilliance. She invents a story about an MI5 contact and a credible terrorist threat in London.
Using her cover.
Precisely. It successfully secures a path out of the U.S. for herself and, crucially, her theatrical troupe, which serves as her perfect cover. This isn't just escaping. It's strategically maneuvering herself out of immediate danger, buying time and distance to execute her new mission.
And the official story for X's death.
The papers called it a drug deal gone bad, which further solidifies the scale of the conspiracy. The public is being fed a blatant lie, and Paula now has irrefutable proof of it.
Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial pivot. Paula realizes she can't possibly do this alone.
Right. She needs help.
She needs an accomplice, someone she can trust in a world where trust is now a lethal luxury. And the only person she can think of, the only one who fits the criteria of being outside the compromise system, is McCracken.
Back to McCracken.
This is where their strange, previously unsettling relationship takes on this new, urgent dimension. Paula, driven by desperate necessity, finally digs into McCracken's past. She discovers his dishonorable discharge from the military and a surprisingly short prison sentence for killing a superior officer.
Suspicious.
Her agent's intuition immediately flags it. Likely a cover-up, given the lenient sentence and the fact he wasn't sent to, like, Leavenworth or some maximum security military prison.
So she confronts him about it.
Well, it leads to McCracken's confession. It's this moment of profound vulnerability and truth. He reveals that as a lieutenant, a security officer on a spy ship off the coast of Iran, he tried to stop a lieutenant commander who, in a moment of madness, decided it'd be fun to shell a coastal town.
Let's shell a town.
Exactly. In the struggle to prevent a potential act of war, McCracken pushed him away from the fire control console, and the officer tragically smashed his head, dying instantly.
Oh my God. An accident during an attempt to stop a war crime.
Precisely. McCracken admits, without self-pity, the Navy framed him. Buried the truth to avoid war with Iran, a war that would have cost a lot of Americans their lives. He went to prison, making the ultimate sacrifice for a greater good, accepting official dishonor to prevent a geopolitical catastrophe.
Wow. That changes everything about him.
Completely.
This moment deepens their bond profoundly, irrevocably. Paula, now seeing the pervasive corruption within her own government laid bare, instantly believes McCracken's story. She recognizes a kindred spirit who also sacrificed his reputation and freedom for what was truly right, not just what was lawful.
Yeah.
McCracken, in turn, demonstrates this almost unwavering, immediate loyalty to Paula. Agrees to help her without hesitation, even if it means facing prison or death himself.
Yeah.
This is an incredible example of how shared experiences of profound betrayal by the system and a common devastating enemy can forge a bond of trust against all conventional odds.
It's not built on history.
No, it's built on shared trauma and a moral compass that points true in a crooked world.
And their unlikely alliance is immediately put to the test. Their next critical step, the Chicago heist. A mission to retrieve the physical evidence X talked about. It begins with a frustrating bit of bad luck. Bad weather in Portland forces them to stay another day, further compressing their already tight timeline for Chicago. Every minute counts now, the agency's closing in.
The pressure must be immense.
Totally. In Chicago, they execute this carefully orchestrated strategy that shows their evolving synergy. McCracken, playing his role as Paula's new romantic interest, acts as the perfect decoy. He takes Paula's new agency-issued phone, the one now presumably being tracked to the theater, sets it to play soft music, simulating a normal, innocuous day for Paula.
Smart, creating a digital alibi.
Exactly. While McCracken's at the theater doing that, Paula heads to BMO Harris Bank. The key to a safety deposit box, just as X had said, had been discreetly mailed to Paula's hotel, waiting for her.
So X's info was good.
Spot on. The retrieval of the package at the bank goes smoothly, almost too easily. Paula notes, with a flicker of relief, the package itself is smaller than expected, which she mentally marks as the smaller the better, as long as the crucial info is inside.
And that package.
Yeah.
That's the core evidence.
That's it. The tangible, undeniable proof of the alleged plot against democracy. This is what they are risking everything for. The physical key to exposing a conspiracy of unimaginable scale. Okay, let's unpack this next moment, because it's a near catastrophe. A heart-stopping close call right in the hotel lobby. Paula and McCracken, having successfully done their parts, arrive back at the hotel at precisely the same time.
Uh-oh.
But fate, or maybe the agency's tightening net, intervenes. So does Tom, a colleague of Paula's, appearing seemingly out of nowhere. The air must have just crackled with unspoken tension, every nerve ending screaming.
Talk about bad timing.
But Paula's improvisational genius, honed by years in the field and now sharpened by desperate necessity, just shines. Without missing a beat, without a flicker of hesitation that might betray her, she walks straight up to McCracken and pulls him into this deep, desperate kiss.
Wow. Right there in the lobby.
Right there. This isn't romance, it's pure tactical maneuvering. A masterclass in misdirection. While locked in the kiss, this silent ballet of deception unfolds. She discreetly slips the precious small package into McCracken's pocket and simultaneously retrieves her own agency phone from him.
Ah, the phone swap.
Exactly. Ensuring the trackers back at the agency believe she's been with him all along, romantically entangled and not at a bank retrieving evidence.
Brilliant. And McCracken.
McCracken, the consummate actor, as Paula later observes, plays along with uncanny perfection, embraces her tightly, returns the kiss with conviction, and, as he later admits with a cheeky grin, even squeezes Paula's ass just to sell the kiss to anyone watching, including Tom.
Uh-huh. Gotta appreciate the commitment.
Right. It's a brilliant, slightly humorous touch in a moment of extreme tension. Highlights their rapid, intuitive coordination and their growing, unconventional bond. Tom, meanwhile, offers this suspicious story about being in Chicago searching for a college professor with ISIS ties. Paula notes it sounded a little too neat, confirming her skepticism. The net, she realizes with a jolt, is clearly tightening.
If we connect this to the broader picture of their evolution, this Chicago sequence is a powerful demonstration of their rapid adaptation, their growing operational prowess under extreme, life-threatening pressure.
Definitely.
They are no longer just two individuals. They are truly working as a cohesive unit, each anticipating the other's moves, improvising seamlessly. A perfectly synchronized duo. This isn't just Paula's solo mission anymore. It's a tightly coordinated, high-stakes, two-person operation against an invisible enemy.
And the significance of that small package, retrieved with such daring,
cannot be overstated. It is the evidence X spoke about, the tangible, undeniable proof that can expose the alleged plot to declare martial law and end democracy. It is the critical piece they need to deliver to an international media outlet, the linchpin of their entire desperate plan.
But the danger is just ramping up.
Dramatically. The agency is clearly on the hunt. Their intelligence network is far more sophisticated and more pervasive than Paula maybe initially realized. Tom's presence in Chicago, combined with Portland, the compromised phones, it suggests Paula's cover isn't just fragile, it's likely already blown.
Yeah.
They're no longer just evading, they are actively being hunted by the very intelligence apparatus Paula once served. An apparatus now, chillingly, part of the conspiracy. This raises that truly profound question again. What does it mean when the very agency you trusted, the institution you dedicated your life to, turns out to be part of the problem, part of the conspiracy?
How does that change everything?
Exactly. How does that fundamentally change your definition of right and wrong, your moral compass, your entire sense of who the true enemy is? Paula is not just fighting a war, she is fighting a war against her former identity.
That's a truly insightful point about redefining right and wrong, and Paula is living that brutal redefinition every single second. The danger escalates immediately after Chicago. They get back to their hotel, and that brief moment of relief McCracken's ass squeeze aside is shattered. The chilling realization. The building is swarming with agents. Paula's immediate gut-wrenching understanding. They've been compromised. Decisively. Completely. The meticulous planning, the cover, it's all out the window. Now it's just a desperate, frantic dash for freedom.
Okay, so it's pure escape mode now.
Pure escape. Paula's quick thinking, testament to her training and newfound resolve, kicks into overdrive. First move. Calls McCracken. Tells him gather the actors from their troupe, meet her at the airport immediately. No more cover maintenance. This is sheer survival. Get out fast. She hails an Uber and, with a flash of ingenuity, offers the driver an extra $50 cash for a favor. As she engages him, she uses the opportunity to discreetly push her agency phone, the one blowing up with calls from her frantic bosses, under the seat, setting it to silent.
Ditching the tracker.
Smart. She suspects they've been caught due to modern surveillance, right? Maybe city cameras, AI facial recognition, maybe someone from X's group talked under duress. The idea that these ubiquitous, interconnected digital eyes could track her every move is a chilling reality for a spy.
Absolutely.
After ditching the Uber, picking up a few crucial supplies, she hails a cab to the airport. As they approach, her eyes, always vigilant, spot an agent clearly following the actors. This confirms her worst fear. McCracken and the entire troupe are compromised. On the spot, no hesitation, she calls McCracken again, tells him, get the actors to Toronto immediately. Separate paths, tactical brilliance, right? Throw the pursuing agents off balance, create two separate, harder-to-track targets.
Divide and conquer, basically.
Exactly. And here's where the story takes another truly electrifying turn. Reveals Paula's ultimate ace in the hole. At the airport's charter desk, agents possibly closing in, she pulls out a credit card. Given to her 15 years ago by Mad Maggie, the enigmatic woman who gave Paula her very first job.
15 years ago.
15 years. Maggie's advice back then echoes with eerie prescience now. It'll only work once no matter how much you charge, so I advise you hold on to it until you are ready to buy the biggest thing you are ever going to need in your life, do you understand? Paula understood then, and she understands now. Don't use it until I have to. This, undoubtedly, is that moment.
Wow, what a setup.
The dramatic airport escape that follows is like something out of a movie. Paula spots 3 agents conspicuously watching for her near where the actors are boarding, their presence a silent, deadly promise of capture. Without hesitation, she ducks into a nearby bathroom, says a silent thank you to that opportunistic Uber driver, lights all of her smoke bombs.
Smoke bombs,
The
seriously.
smoke bombs, unleashing this chaotic cloud of disorientation. Then, amidst the sudden confusion and alarm, she hustles over to the charter desk. "I'm ready to go," she tells the attendant, confirms her passport is ready, and with a brilliant lie, says her luggage is on another flight.
Incredible nerve.
Maggie, true to her word, provided an unparalleled lifeline. With that single-use card, Paula charters a private jet for herself directly to Toronto. And with a strategic stroke of genius, she also secures first-class tickets for the entire cast from Toronto to London.
Wow. She got them all out, too.
It's a cinematic, audacious move, a desperate gamble for ultimate freedom and the continuation of her mission.
What's truly compelling here, thinking about the sheer scale and audacity of this escape, is the level of pre-planning that comes to fruition, combined with Paula's incredible capacity for improvisation under fire.
Right, that card.
Exactly. This isn't just a chaotic flight. It's meticulously orchestrated, multi-layered. Every detail, from the disposable phone to the emergency credit card she held onto for 15 years, had been either considered long ago or ingeniously improvised in the moment. Her ability to think several steps ahead, anticipate failures, create contingencies under such intense pressure, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
It highlights that the life of an agent is less about brute force, maybe, and more about strategic foresight and immediate adaptability.
And the ingenuity doesn't stop once they're airborne, does it?
Not at all. On the flight from Toronto to London, just when they might feel a sliver of safety, another calculated piece of deception unfolds. Henry, one of the actors, appears to have this sudden dramatic heart attack, collapses after coming out of the bathroom.
Oh man, not for real.
Well, McCracken, ever the cool-headed one, immediately springs into action. Calls for the AEDs, connects it, Henry's body spasms convincingly. McCracken puts his ear to Henry's chest, announces professionally, "I have a heartbeat." Then, in a whisper only Paula can hear, confirms, with a sly grin, that Henry is faking.
He's faking it. Why?
Brilliant tactical simplicity. It's a dual-purpose maneuver. Firstly, massive distraction. Effectively reveals and ties up any potential agents who might be on board, observing them.
Flush them out.
Exactly. Secondly, and critically, it creates a perfectly plausible excuse for Paula to switch with Henry at Heathrow. Instead of going through customs with the main group, drawing attention, Paula can accompany the ailing Henry directly to Hillingdon Hospital as an emergency,
Where her contact is waiting.
where she can then discreetly meet her MI5 contact, Dan Watson. This level of deception, even misleading their own allies on the flight, truly highlights the extreme measures they're forced to take. Every action a performance, every interaction a calculated risk, all to survive and advance their monumental mission. But this constant, intricate web of deception, it does raise an important question about Paula, doesn't it? What are the long-term psychological costs of living a life where truth is a tactical weapon? Where every move, every word, every relationship is a calculated performance to evade, capture, expose a plot, or just survive.
Yeah, that's got to take a toll.
How does this unwavering commitment to deception, even for a greater good, weigh on her? What kind of inner fortitude does it take to maintain your sense of self when your entire life becomes a lie? It's an almost unbearable burden, you'd think, even for the most hardened agent.
That's a truly compelling point about the insidious personal toll. But for Paula, the urgency of the mission just seems to take precedence over any internal psychological accounting, at least for now. When she arrives at Hillingdon Hospital in London, Dan Watson, her MI5 contact, is indeed waiting, thanks to McCracken's earlier call explaining she was en route.
Okay, so the handoff plan works.
It works. Watson immediately confirms the terrifying gravity of her situation, laying bare the official narrative back home. Warrants already issued for her from the U.S. Justice Department. The charges are catastrophic. Treason, sedition, terrorism, obstruction of justice, and a whole bunch of lesser charges.
Oh, enemy of the state, officially.
Completely. The stakes, already sky high, couldn't possibly be higher. Back in the U.S., the political turmoil is escalating rapidly. Trump, as Paula notes, is having a meltdown firing agency employees left and right. But Paula, with this characteristic touch of cynical pragmatism, observes in her journal that this was simply Trump on any normal day, so she doesn't feel particularly special about it. Her focus is laser sharp on the evidence.
Right, the package.
Her evidence, however, is undeniably special. Paula gets to meet the UK Prime Minister at a special, hastily convened cabinet meeting, presents her pretty damning findings, the contents of that small, crucial package.
Straight to the top.
Straight to the top. The Prime Minister, immediately recognizing the explosive international implications, quickly moves to coordinate with Chancellor Friedrich Merz of Germany and Prime Minister François Bayrou of France. The plan is meticulous. All three nations broadcast Paula's evidence simultaneously, anticipating correctly that Trump will react with extreme prejudice.
A coordinated international release. Smart.
And he does. He reacts really badly. The global ripple effect of Paula's actions becomes devastatingly clear. Trump immediately imposes 1,000% tariffs on the entire European Union and Britain.
1,000%.
1,000%. Unprecedented, economically destructive. He declares, with characteristic bluster, these tariffs would increase by 100% each week until Paula is extradited. It's extreme, showcasing the truly global fallout from one agent's courageous decision. The world watches, holding its breath.
If we connect this to the broader picture of global power dynamics, the fragility of democratic institutions, this whole sequence powerfully outlines the profound, almost seismic power of information, the ripple effect it can have globally when it finally breaks through the layers of official deception.
Yeah.
It shows how a single critical leak, if it's undeniable, can force the hand of powerful nations, disrupt international relations, and unravel even the most carefully laid plans of authoritarian control. It underscores the profound vulnerability of even most powerful leaders when confronted with undeniable truth.
And Trump's alleged plan starts to crumble back home too, right?
Oh, it unravels on multiple fronts. Externally, due to international pressure, and internally, where the cracks were already forming, Democratic senators and congressmen, horrified by the truly chilling idea of being rounded up and shot, finally find their voice start speaking out against the blatant threat. Crucially, and perhaps most devastatingly for the alleged plan, some National Guard members begin to dissent publicly. They state unequivocally that they signed up to defend the country, not suppress the citizens, their mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers.
That's huge. The military refused it.
It's critical internal crack, a moral breaking point within the very apparatus Trump would need to enforce his vision.
And then there was that leak, the final nail.
The final nail in the coffin, the undeniable product that shatters the last vestiges of credibility for the alleged plot, comes from this truly astonishing leak. Pete Hegseth, a figure mentioned in the source, accidentally makes a monumental error.
What do you do?
He starts a group chat with a bunch of Republican congressmen, but in a catastrophic oversight, he includes 2 reporters in the chat. Yes, this chat, intended to be secure, lays out the entire horrifying plan in black and white. Trump would declare martial law city by city, detailing the support needed from congressmen as they systematically took over more cities before the inevitable suspension of democracy.
Wow, direct proof, leaked accidentally.
Devastating. The political fallout is immediate and catastrophic for Trump. His dream of sweeping the 2026 election and keeping the House were ground to dust. Republican congressmen and women, desperate to save their careers, rush home to distance themselves, assuring constituents they knew nothing. Those implicated in the chat, though, they don't dare go home, fearing righteous fury.
So in the aftermath, what happens to Paula's acting troupe?
Her Shakespeare Today troupe, the unwitting cover, finds this unexpected, almost ironic fame. Their performances are packed, crowds eager to see the now famous actors. Henry and McCracken become particularly popular on the talk show circuit.
Especially recounting the heart attack scene, I bet.
Exactly. Turning a moment of extreme danger into this comedic anecdote, there are inevitably personal costs, a lingering shadow. Henry is indicted for obstruction and aiding and abetting for his role in the escape.
But not McCracken.
Interestingly, McCracken is left alone. The source suggests perhaps the Navy, aware of the deeper truth of his past and the damning evidence he holds against the U.S. military, convinced authorities to leave him untouched. Hints at that broader, intricate web of secrets and compromises permeating the system.
So Paula and McCracken, what's their new life like?
Their new life, forged in the crucible of this shared, extraordinary experience, is one of limited but celebrated freedom. They're restricted to travel within the UK and EU, a necessary precaution to avoid being vanished by disgruntled elements back in the US.
Makes sense.
But within these boundaries, they're enjoying success, packed houses, their unconventional bond deepening with every shared triumph and lingering threat. McCracken's continued devotion is evident, and their playful dynamic endures, with Paula occasionally letting him squeeze that ass just to keep him happy. And then there's this intriguing possibility for the future, a whisper of a new adventure. McCracken's crazy idea of opening a detective agency. Paula considers it, admitting she misses the thrill of the spy game. Suggests that perhaps their deep dive into the shadows is far from over.
So what does this all mean? This incredible, harrowing journey chronicled in Paula Becker's journal. It's an unforgettable testament, isn't it, to the profound power of truth and the unexpected heroes who emerge when systems once trusted implicitly utterly fail. It serves as this chilling, necessary reminder that sometimes the most dangerous terrorists aren't lurking in the shadows from abroad, but are those wielding immense power from within the very institutions sworn to uphold democratic principles. The core takeaways from this deep dive are undeniably profound. We've witnessed the shocking depth of an alleged conspiracy that threatened to end democracy as we know it. The formation of the most unlikely alliances forged under unimaginable pressure, and the dramatic, far-reaching international consequences of exposing deeply held secrets. This narrative powerfully illustrates that information, once released, once believed, once it breaks through those carefully constructed narratives, can truly reshape the world, bringing down powerful figures, igniting a global response that transcends national borders.
This powerful narrative really compels us to consider a truly critical question, one that extends far beyond the specifics of Paula's extraordinary story. In an age of pervasive information overload, where narratives are constantly being spun, challenged, weaponized, and political landscapes are evolving at this breathtaking pace, how do we discern truth from deliberate manipulation?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
What tools, what instincts do we need to cultivate? And what responsibility do individuals like Paula, and by extension maybe all of us, have when confronted with uncomfortable, even terrifying truths about powerful institutions or systems we once trusted implicitly? This journey forces us to grapple with that fine line between unwavering loyalty and unwitting complicity, and it champions the enduring, absolutely essential power of critical thinking in a world where it's increasingly difficult to know who to trust and what to believe.